Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell ya, there's something else. Motherfucking Purple Rain! Yeah! Your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here once again, and today I am joined by...
Bree.
Old Man Logan.
And we're here to talk about Purple Rain, which these two fools had never seen before. So before we launch into what we thought about it, just for those of you who don't know, and I am using notes here, so I apologize, because I don't have the shit memorized. Purple Rain was released in 1984, 2 years before I was born, because I'm fucking old, but I'm not that fucking old quite yet.
By the way, there's cussing in this video.
Yeah, there's lots of cussing in this video because it's fucking Purple Rain, motherfucker. And I think at this point people have... yeah, exactly. I think at this point people have become accustomed to the fact that in these videos there's probably going to be more profanity and it's going to be a little bit looser.
We're not in front of the camera every day.
Right. We like to be laid back here.
Which, yeah, by the way, please welcome them back to on camera now that I've got the new setup.
Right, been a moment.
Right? But anyway, so, Purple Rain came out in 1984. It's rated R. It comes in at 111 minutes. It was directed by Albert Manigoli? Manigoli?
Apollina.
Manigoli.
Yeah, and it's written by that same fool and William Glenn, with story contributions by Prince himself. Alright guys, so as always in these, we went into this pretty blind. They had seen a couple of music videos that came from the movie, but other than that, what did you know about this movie going into it?
That it had Prince. That's about it. And that it was a good glam rock, like, in that era. That's all I knew about it.
I don't know. It was, not, I didn't know what to expect or what, I didn't know anything about it because I didn't care. Like, I mean,
that's fair.
It's just not my thing.
That's fair.
But we'll go into that.
It's true. Like, it took us a little doing to get all three of us here to watch this movie, because, again, it doesn't really have anything that would normally draw you to it. But it's not a musical.
Yeah.
It's kind of just every kind of biopic about a musician you've ever seen, but with Prince. Yeah, it's 8 Mile, but in the 80s with Prince, which makes it better. No, for the record, 8 Mile's a fine film. It works. Eminem does his thing in there. But this movie has a lot of similarities to it just for a totally different generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, so after all that, what did y'all think?
I had a lot of fun with it. I love musicals. I know this isn't a musical, but I love things like that, movies that incorporate lots of music. So I had lots of fun with it. It made me angry in some places, but, you know, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I really didn't know what I was in for there.
No, we didn't.
It was good. Like, it was cool.
It's entertaining as hell.
And weird in some places.
Oh, so weird.
It gets weird.
Really weird. But, yeah. Like, it was awesome.
It's so 80s. It is just... it's kind of like when I told you all about Batman Ninja. It's anime as fuck. This movie is 80s as fuck. Just like the opening sequence alone is just so 80s, but at the same time just really fun and cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from that opening, you know where you're at in terms of time. Like, there's no questioning.
Absolutely. Again, it's a really entertaining movie. It's a movie that does have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But I also think, you know...
Again, it has nothing that would draw you to it inherently. I think the conception from a lot of people is that it is a Prince vanity project, which on some level it could be considered, but when you actually watch the movie and get into how he is portrayed, his character arc is, it's really not a vanity project, because he doesn't come off looking good.
Yeah, no, kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah. Now, some of that is that it doesn't age well with time, you know, as I was saying.
Political correctness of today's time.
Yeah, but even when this movie came out, he would have been considered a fucking prick for the things he does in this movie. But it is like I was saying earlier, I was like, the 80s, when ladies were ladies and guys were fucking assholes. And it was just the way it was. You know, if you weren't a little bit stalkery and a little bit rapey, she wouldn't take you seriously. We're going to get so much hate. Hate comments for that one joke. But it is a joke, but, like, watch movies from the 80s. That's kind of...
That's what they want you to...
Yeah.
To get from it.
Whether it was intentional or not, we'll never know, but it was the fucking 80s, and there was a lot of cocaine and pastel going around, so who knows, you know? Yeah. So, before we get into things that, like, we feel the movie came up short on, what was your favorite thing from the movie?
Darling Nikki.
The Darling Nikki sequence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Purple Rain, I really liked that too, but Darling Nikki comes to mind first.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Appalena's hot, so that scene. She's first showing off when they're doing her like at the eat or whatever the eats.
Oh, her like introduction. Yeah. Okay.
Like of the musical thing.
Yeah, that was cool and interesting. Weirdly, like my favorite stuff in the movie is the really fucking dark shit. Okay. Because it's not what you would expect from the movie.
Oh yeah.
Like this movie goes to some really dark places. And does not shy away from them even a little bit.
Oh no. Yeah. It's brutal, kind of.
Yeah.
Like. And I guess with that being said, probably like the piano sequence with his dad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, that is a really good scene. Yeah, that's probably one of the better scenes in the movie. Like not only in just what it does, but in terms of like the acting and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I really love the just the darker elements in the movie because they really add an extra layer of legitimacy to things.
Okay.
Like the drama that they instill in the movie is definitely not what you would expect from this kind of movie, and it is good enough drama that despite some of the actors not being like the best actors out there, you can still really like get into the drama because it is so relatable in certain ways.
Yeah.
And I think that really works to the movie's benefit because, like with the acting, there are some things that don't work in the movie.
Yeah.
And some things that are, to use the modern term, let's call them problematic.
A little.
So, yeah, you said, in terms of, like, stuff that didn't work so well, you said there was something that made you angry.
Just, like, him seeing his father treat his mother like shit, and then being, sympathetic towards that and trying to help her and things like that. And then doing it to a girl, like, right after she gives you a guitar, by the way. Literally, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It made me really mad.
Your thoughts?
Like, yeah. I went on a tangent there. I don't.
Sorry, I had to get some.
No, things. I mean, all the chemistry kind of with them is really weird. It just kind of, I don't know, it off-put from like some of the other like plot stuff with Morris Day and like that stuff. It just kind of like the sex scene.
Yeah.
With them,
the sex scene's super weird.
Super like that.
It's like a sensual bullfight or some shit with him with the little little bullfighting man matador pants or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a really weird sex scene.
It is so weird. It's like, Prince saying, "Look how straight I can be."
Right? Or yeah, kind of. It's like, or something to that effect.
It's so wild, like.
It really is.
It's weird.
And in terms of like the thing that you were talking about, like, man, yeah, it kind of, because it comes out of nowhere and you're not supposed to like the character in that moment.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of like, and you can tell that Prince is trying to play it like he's also disgusted with himself, but he's trying to like keep his own composure and like he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not quite a good enough actor to make all that work so that like we connect with him still in that moment as like a recognition of like all of us have had moments where we do horrible things that we wish we could take back but we can't.
Yeah.
And this is just taking it to a fucking extreme.
Yeah.
But I think the movie also kind of fails in their redemption of that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he just walks up at the end of like the one performance and kisses.
Yeah.
And she whispers in his ear.
He sang a pretty song.
Yeah.
So he's forgiven.
Exactly.
This movie's not woke, y'all.
No.
Are you surprised that the movie about Prince from 1984 ain't woke? I'm not surprised, but nevertheless, it ain't woke. That's for damn sure. The film could definitely be characterized as misogynistic in places.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I don't want to excuse that as being like, oh, well, it's just a product of its time.
Right.
But, like, to a large degree, it kind of is because, like, dude, there's nothing you couldn't do to a woman in a movie in the 80s. Horror movies have shown us that. You could do anything to a woman in a movie in the 80s.
That's
like,
fair.
no holds barred. So, like, in that respect, like, okay, well, you know, this movie, no. He's...
No, nice try.
My mind is boggled that Prince would endorse a movie that makes him look so despicable.
Yeah.
Even though it's clear that the whole point is, like, by the end of the movie, he isn't fixed, but he's on a path now of, like, recognizing his own issues and, like, trying to work past them and trying to be a better person and be a better musician and, like, connect with other people. It's clear that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of story missing in the last third of the movie that is replaced with some really awesome performance numbers.
True.
Some truly awesome performance numbers.
Yeah.
But we probably could have used, instead of just seeing like the highlights of a few character scenes, we probably could use a couple more character scenes, you know? Probably wouldn't have hurt in terms of like bringing that character's arc full circle.
Yeah. Because that recovery in the end, it's kind of jarring.
It's
like, oh, everything's all right now. Okay.
Yeah. It is a fucking Prince movie, so maybe what we got is way better than like we ever should have expected or hoped for.
Fair.
Because as I've mentioned, I've seen motherfucking Under the Cherry Moon.
Oh.
And
we talked briefly about that.
Is a travesty. It is a motherfucking nightmare. And that is something Prince directed himself.
Oh, man.
And it is...
If I'm not mistaken, I'm fairly certain Prince directed that shit himself, and it's garbage, man. It's real bad. I recently found it on DVD.
It's better than Ice, right?
Huh?
Ice?
Cool as Ice? You mean the Vanilla Ice movie?
Oh, yeah.
That's...
Whew, that's a discussion for another day. That would be a whole nother video of comparison.
Yeah.
I don't know if the world's ready for those two things next to each other. But no, yeah, I saw it on DVD the other day, and number one was like, okay, how the fuck did this get on DVD? And then number two, it was $8, and I was like, who the fuck thought someone would pay $8 for this? I know Prince just died recently and shit, and that's very sad, and you're going to try to make money off his back cat, but really, this? $8? Fuck you. It's not even a Blu-ray.
No, fuck you.
Like, if I'm going to watch this piece of shit, you could at least let me watch it in Blu-ray for $8. Holy shit. I think there were some special features, but I didn't give a shit. Because it's Under the Cherry Moon. So anyway, do you guys have any final thoughts?
Enjoyable, but frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, watch it, sure.
Yeah.
I love the music. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it was entertaining as hell. It was just...
Yeah, clearly, if you love Prince, you've probably already seen this movie.
Yeah.
If you've just heard a few Prince songs and you like it, check it out, because this movie gives you a really good idea of what Prince as a performer is like, but don't get too caught up on the person who's portrayed in the movie, as like, even when the movie was made, that's not really who Prince was anymore. He was still a prick, but he wasn't that prick anymore.
It was like 5 years after?
I would like to say something like that, but I didn't really dive into it, do as much research. Most of it is just stuff I remember from over the years, because I like the movie and talking to other people about it and stuff. So I don't want to put anything on the record as a hard fact, but yeah, I would say that would be like 5 years in the past or so, like that. But in general, if you're just looking for a good time and you're not going to take it too seriously and get too butthurt about the political correct nature of the film or politically incorrect nature of the film, you didn't get all butthurt. You can still enjoy it.
I didn't get that butthurt. I was just goofing.
As long as you take it for what it is, then I do highly recommend it. Like,
yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. It's got good music. It's really colorful. There's some crazy fucking shit in it.
Yeah, there is. You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
And at least once or twice, you'll find yourself sitting there going, this is the fucking Prince movie. What the fuck is... What is going on? This is not what I signed up for.
What is going on? What? I remember thinking that a few times.
A couple times. We had to take a few breaks.
Yeah. It's like, hold on, process.
Right. So yeah, keeping all that in mind, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I suppose I would too.
Right on, guys. So, thank you very much for joining us today. And if you like this video, please leave a like and share it with some friends. That's more important now than ever with everything YouTube's changing up on us small YouTubers. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get updates on all the dope content that I'm going to be having coming out in the future. here pretty soon whenever I figure out how words work again, but we're just going to keep on moving because that's kind of the nature of this thing. Also, if you'd like to hear more of my insane ramblings and flubs and all that kind of nonsense, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll have the links for that in the description below. It's alright. Once again, thank you very much, guys.
Bree. Out.
Old Man Logan.
And Nerd Scum.
Sorry.
Out.
Sorry.
We're all fucking out.
Yeah, we are. Woo.